Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. Now, for the few of you watching this who might not know anything about this game, it's basically sort of a simulator in which you run your own space program and you build the rockets, you fly the rockets, you do pretty much everything conceivable with regards to what you might think has to be done in a space program. Although there are two main modes in this game. There's the career mode and just the sandbox mode. In the sandbox mode, you can just sort of screw around and do whatever you want, and in the career mode, you actually have to sort of manage finances and manage your crews and upgrade things and all that good junk and do research and all of that fun stuff. So I guess the one thing actually I'll say right away as sort of a disclaimer is if you're looking for sort of a expert pro strats run of this game, you're not going to find that here, because actually I'll just straight up say this, I literally just bought this game yesterday, but I have put in like 10 hours, so you can tell I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Actually, even outside of this Let's Play, I'll probably play this game a little on the side as well, so I'll probably be learning outside as well as inside of the Let's Play. So, yeah. Anyways, let's just start a new campaign. Yes, career, campaign, same difference. I'll do normal just because, I don't know, seems like the most logical. I don't really want to do easy because, well, that's a bit too easy, and I don't really want to have to do, like, moderate because, well, then we just get less money for everything, and I feel like that would, if anything, it would just make things get a bit drawn out and take longer than they really have to, so I think normal just seems like the best idea, so yeah, there we go. And yes, as you can see, I kind of did a failed attempt at this already, so yeah, I'll call it Let's Play. Or did I type that in? I'm not sure. Whatever. I can't quite remember. Okay, yeah, a game with that already exists, so overwrite. Alrighty then. So, here's sort of the main, I guess, hub of the game. Actually, let me turn the volume down a bit because it is quite loud on my end. So anyways, for right now, most of this stuff really doesn't matter because we really don't have any of the things that would make this screen be useful to us. Obviously, like I said, we have to do researching, and there is a absolutely massive skill tree, and I'm just at the very, very beginning. And we're going to have to get all these nice little research points in order to continually get better and better and better until we finally get insanely expensive, but also probably really cool technologies. So yeah, let's leave that facility, and I guess the one thing is mission control. I should probably accept these contracts, launch our first vessel. Yeah, guess we'll do that. And gather scientific data from Kerbal. Yes, these two are probably the first contracts we really want. And the contracts are basically how we are going to make our money. And that's about it, because the contracts, I think, for the most part, they only ever give you money. I don't think you ever get, like, research points or anything. So I guess let's just go ahead and build our first ship. And yeah, I've already read this, so whatever. And as you can see, our choices of technologies are extremely limited to begin with. Actually, that's one of the things that I guess shocks me is when I first started playing the game, I went into Sandbox right away. And honestly, that's the worst thing about Sandbox is it's so overwhelming because there are literally like hundreds of different technologies in all these categories. I mean, obviously some of them only have like a couple dozen, but some of these are literally just like there's hundreds of different things, and it's just so overwhelming when you first start because you don't know what a single thing does, really. So yeah, we can't even put a fuel tank down. We just have a solid fuel booster, which basically means that all the fuel that this thing can use is within it by itself. It's sort of just a standalone thing. Like, we can't add more fuel tanks. Later we'll get liquid fuel boosters, but for now all we've got is solid. And I guess we'll put on some wings, which I don't know. Don't know how useful those will really be. I guess they are pretty useful because I did try launching a few ships when I first started without any wings, and it goes really badly. I guess we'll put some of these things on, and I suppose I'll just put them right there. I mean, really, that's really all we can do for right now. The one thing I should be smart enough to do, though, is do staging, because you actually have to do all the staging of the rockets yourself, and we obviously don't want the parachute to launch the second we launch the engines, or ignite the engines. That would be a bit of a poor decision. So yeah, let's just launch. I know some people will literally not even make a rocket. They'll just make this crew hatch thing, or not hatch, but this crew module, and they'll literally just get out of it the first launch and just do some science gathering. But I don't know, I feel like that'd make a very boring first episode. So although that might be the most smart and resource efficient way of doing things, it's also, I think, the most boring, so I'm not going to do that. So I guess the first thing we can actually do is gather some samples right away, just because I guess it's kind of funny when you first start out, it's as if Kerbans or the Kerbals don't know anything about their planet of Kerban, and you basically have to research everything on the planet, and that will give you more science, which you can then use to upgrade your ship and all that good stuff. So we'll do that, and I guess we'll do a crew report as well. We can also do a crew report in many other situations, and that's the one thing that sucked when I sort of did my first career, is I didn't realize that the research is actually pretty in-depth, and it depends, like, if you do research in like each level of atmosphere, that gives you different amounts of science, because once we do the first sort of science, I guess, what would you call it? The first science ability, I guess, or action. Like, if we do this again in this area, we won't get any science for that. And I like how it's just called science, not like science points. And you know what? I'm talking a lot. Let's just launch the damn rocket. So here we go. And I guess while this thing's flying, I'll do another observation of the mystery goo, because that'll give us some science, just because it's in the air. Yeah, the goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. And I think this isn't going to get us even out of the first sort of layer of atmosphere, so I don't even know if I want to bother opening this up again. I guess maybe I will. Let's see. I guess I'll do it right now. Does it? I don't think that gave us any more, but whatever. We'll just keep it. And now, actually, we're still going up. As you can see, now we're slowly making our way downwards. And I believe the parachute only can handle like 250 or so meters per second, so I'm going to want to open this thing up probably as soon as possible. Yeah, I'm just going to open it up now, and then I'll speed up time, because this is honestly one of the most boring parts of making the rocket, is having it land. And it looks like it's going to crash, but right when you get to a certain height, the parachute's nice and it opens up. And actually, we can alter different statistics that will affect when the parachute opens up. And actually, let me slow down time, because even the game warns you that if you try to launch your rocket, or not launch the rocket, but if you try to land your rocket when the speed is turned up, the physics get a bit janky. So there was our first launch. I can actually have Mr. Jebediah actually first. Yeah, I already did a crew report, and I did all the mystery goo things, so I'll actually have Jebediah climb out and jump off the rocket and then fall down on his face. Then we'll have him do an EVA report. I don't think a space was entirely necessary to get here, was it? No, probably not, but whatever. So yeah, that gives us a bit of science as well, so I'll just keep that report. And I suppose a recover vessel is the next thing to do. Although actually, the unfortunate thing is that when you exit the vehicle, you yourself are actually considered a vessel, which is kind of weird. Yeah, now I actually have to go to here and then click recover here, and that'll give us all the science that was captured from the vessel itself, as well as we get funds for recovering different things. So I think we got pretty much all the money back that we spent. We didn't get fuel back, of course, but otherwise we got a large chunk of the money we spent back. So yeah, we've got 29 science, which that is enough. Yes, we need 5 only for these next 2. So I can actually get these next 2 right away, and this will give us a Science Junior, so that's more sciencey stuff we can do. It was a communotron, which means we can actually send our results back better from a farther distance away. We also get a stacked decoupler, so this lets us have different stages of the rocket rather than just one engine. And then this will give us actual fuel engines, and a small fuel tank, and a larger solid booster. So yes, let's just research both of these because they are so little of a requirement that I might as well. So here I can get more aerodynamic things, which we really don't need these right now because, I mean, nose cones are nice because then you can have like radial stages, so stages that are, other than just making a rocket that's straight up and down, we can have engines that are mounted to the side with the radial decoupler and all that. We can have survivability things, which gives us a bunch of neat things that'll not make our Kerbins die as much, or Kerbals. I always confuse the planet name with the people name. I suppose, yeah, we don't have enough to... Actually, no, we do have enough to buy this or this. But honestly, this is a much better choice because, well, a much better fuel engine, as well as a much better fuel tank, and just in general a lot better things, and a really large solid fuel booster as well. But I don't know, should I buy this right away? I suppose I might as well. I mean, it's not really the amount of science we're spending now, as you can see, once compared to the later stuff, the amount we're spending now and the amount we're collecting now is basically nothing. Alright, so there's that. I guess let's make another rocket. Actually, wait, I'll go to mission control. And now we have a bunch of new things that we can do. We can orbit Kerbin. I don't think that's something we'll be able to do quite yet. We could, I don't know, I think we could escape the atmosphere. I might, yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and accept this because I think we can do that right away. We can test the decoupler, and a lot of these contracts, as you can see, have very specific objectives that you have to manage, so we can't just test the decoupler and that's the end of it. We actually have to do it in this particular altitude, at that particular, or I should say between these particular speeds, and it gets kind of specific, and it's kind of annoying how like that has to be as specific as it is, because I remember struggling a lot my first attempt at doing some of these. We can test that. Kerbin, flying, altitude. You know what, I think I'll accept this one. Yeah, and right now we can only have 2 contracts at a time, and in order to accept more, we're going to have to upgrade this. But for right now, we don't really have the spending cash, I think, to be upgrading stuff like that. Yeah, and we don't have... it's kind of sad. The one thing I was sort of the most excited to do in the career mode was the space planes. But unfortunately, as you can see, the runway is all dirt, and even after you upgrade it, it's completely trash, because it just has a bunch of it's concrete after you upgrade it, but it has a bunch of potholes in it, and it just makes space planes a real pain at the beginning. But anyways, enough about that. I guess I'll just make our second rocket and see what I can do. So we have a, where is it? Structural. We have a decoupler now, so we can make multiple stages, as you can see. Although, I guess now that I think about it, I've never really had differently staged solid state, or not solid state, solid boosters. Because usually you always want the liquid fuel one sort of in the middle. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll put one down, I'll copy and paste it a couple times. I'm going to try to get out of the atmosphere, I think, is my main goal for this launch. I'll put this baby down. Then I'll go ahead. We don't need a service bay particularly. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever used a service bay, although it would be useful for stuff like, as you can see, batteries and all that. We could even have this, but we're not really going to be doing anything, I think, that would require that, per se. Could add one of these, because that helps you, or not that, a drogue chute would be better. Drogue chutes have a higher, I guess, ability to slow you down at higher speeds. A higher ability to slow you down at higher speeds. That was a bit redundant, but they're better at slowing you down even if your vessel is at a very high speed. So I guess I will... Yeah, as you can see, I'm not exactly all that familiar with where a lot of things are located. Although I should be, because when I was playing on my own career mode, I had a lot more. Should I do the larger one? You know what? Might as well. Yeah, because we don't even have a... as you can see, we don't even have the radial decouplers, so it'll be hard to make a multi-stage rocket, because one thing I learned is you don't want to make a really long rocket, because then it'll wobble a lot and it's very hard to control. So that kind of screwed me over on one of my first flights. Yeah, we should get some fins as well. I guess we'll put some here because I'm going to unstage that part, and I want to actually have some control over this top part. And unfortunately, when you first start out, you've got a lot of restrictions in terms of what you can do. Like, we can only have an 18-ton mass, and we've already reached about half of that. We have a very limited height and everything, size, and we can only have 15 parts, so there's a lot of limits that you've got to start out with, but once we upgrade different things, it'll really help us out. What am I looking for? Science is what we need next. And I'll go ahead and I guess add 3 more of these, because if we're going to break the atmosphere, I want to collect a sample, I think, at each layer of the atmosphere. Although, actually, you know what? I'm even going to get crazy and I'm going to add a Science Junior. Actually, I could even add 2. How many tons is that, though? It's only 0.2 tons, which I suppose isn't really that bad. Actually, it is pretty bad. That's... oh, never mind. It's because that's not connected. Yeah, it's not that bad when it comes to the total amount of our craft. I'm actually going to add 2. That'll give us a bunch of science, because I'll take 1 sample at the top, I think at the exit of the atmosphere. I don't know. We'll see what I do exactly. Yeah, so staging. We want that to happen first, then decouple, and I want the engines to fire as soon as that decouples. Then I'm going to add another one because I want our drogue chute to go before the top chute goes. So, you know what? Let's do this one. Alrighty then. Yeah, this does look really pathetic. I'm going to want to upgrade the launch pad, I think, pretty soon. Alright. So yeah, escape the atmosphere, and we do... I think I used the swivel engine, or didn't I? Whoops. Swivel engine. So yeah, I think we should get that, although that's only if we can get to 23,000 to 28,000. I think we should be able to get there, but I don't know. We'll see. So yes, without further ado, let's just go ahead and let me make sure I put on SAS. I oftentimes forget to put on SAS, and that is quite disastrous, because SAS basically balances out your rocket without making you doing all the fine-tuning yourself. So if you don't have SAS on, your rocket will oftentimes lose stability and wobble out of control. And actually, let's sort of start to do... yeah, we really don't have that much control of our rocket to begin with. Second stage already. We have a bit more control when we've got this thing, but with our solid booster, we don't really have any control. And I'm going to tilt a bit. And actually, now that we're in this part of the atmosphere, I'm going to observe the materials bay. And that gives us 17.5 science, so that alone gave us quite a bit more than what we had before. And actually, as you can see, we got a very high speed here. Like, we are so much higher of a speed than this thing wanted us to have. Although, actually, I think as we go down, that should... yeah, I don't think we're going to quite escape the atmosphere. I probably need a couple more fuel tanks or so. Although, actually, I'm going to do another science-y thing. Actually, let me look at the map. This is our orbit. Actually, I think we will. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to escape the atmosphere. Because I think 70,000 meters is where the atmosphere ends. So, yeah, we're going to escape that without a problem. And this is why the drogue chute is helpful, because we're going to be falling so quickly that this chute will not even, like, slow us down nearly enough. So yeah, now that we're... I'll speed up the time a bit, and once we're completely out of the atmosphere... locked? Huh. Why does it say locked, I wonder? Oh yes, because I am going so quickly. Derp. There we go. And yeah, plus 25 silence. silence. Science. So there we go. And I don't know if this really makes a difference, but I'm going to want to close the doors, I think. Otherwise, that will cause, I think probably, I don't know, it would probably cause bad things to happen normally. So now we're going to start heading down. I'm going to speed up time again. The one thing I just realized is I really should have kept a reserve of fuel because I feel like we might be dropping so quickly that I don't know if our drogue chutes are going to be able to slow us down, because as you can see, we're heading, yeah, like look at how quickly we are falling, and we won't be able to have the drogue chutes go off unless we're going about 400 meters per second. Okay, fortunately the atmosphere really slows you down, but okay, hopefully the drogue chute can deploy. The second I see it, okay, there we go, drogue chute deployed. Okay, regular parachute deployed, there we go. And actually, the one thing I forgot to do was do a crew report in the air, although we can do one here too, because, yeah, flying over Kerbin's water. So there's a lot of, like, different, I guess, scenarios that you can collect science in. And I remember I didn't really keep track when I was, or in my other career mode that I'm doing, and it kind of screwed me over a bit because I wasn't sure where I needed to collect samples of things and where I shouldn't and all that stuff. There we go. Gonna land in the water and be perfectly fine. For the most part. Actually, bottom of our ship kinda blew up. Oh no, we lost all that science. Oh wow, it even destroyed the bottom. That's crazy. We were only going 10 meters per second. I thought most of those have a crash resistance of more than that. Huh. Guess we'll do an EVA then, as well. Have him let go. Well, that's pretty terrible. We lost our entire bottom of the craft. So yeah, that's an example of things going very poorly. Yeah, I really should have saved a little bit of fuel, because that would have really helped out with the landing. That's weird how the entire bottom got destroyed, though, because we were only going 8 meters per second, and I think the crash resistance of like the engine is supposed to be 12 meters per second, so that was kind of strange. So yeah, we did an EVA report. I'm gonna see if I can't get inside of here, although, whoa, he's falling. Yeah, it's a bit glitchy trying to do things in the water. Okay, we can grab it. And B, board, there we go. That's just so I don't have to recover both. I can just recover them at the same time. Alright. So yeah, actually, we got a bunch of... Yeah, fortunately we got the higher science thing instead of just the lower one. Because I think the other science pod only had like a plus 10 science or something like that, or it might have only been like plus 5. It wasn't much, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, we obviously lost a bunch of money too because well, a lot of our stuff got destroyed. Although, in general, we gained a lot because we did a lot of... We exceeded a lot of these things that we had to do. Yeah, we weren't able to do this thing because we were going way too fast. I suppose what I'll have to do if I want to be within the right speed is I'll have to make something completely out of liquid engines, because the thing with a solid fuel engine that sucks is that you cannot control the thrust at all. Once the solid fuel engines are started, that's it. They just keep going. There's absolutely nothing you can do. I shouldn't say they're engines, because they are boosters, not engines, and I'm sure someone probably might be annoyed by me calling them engines. I could have named our craft too, but I didn't. Whatever. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, so thank you all for watching, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.